Hello guys, watching the Geeks and we're talking about Fear of the Walking Dead Season 7, Episode 5 to 8. First time watching and reacting. Yeah. We got a wrestling episode. We actually got some sort of vibe for Episode 5. Episode 6 was pretty boring. Episode 7 was interesting with, what's her name? She's the original character, which I should be knowing her name by now. Alicia. There we go. And Morgan and Victor for episode 8. So we've got some stuff to talk about there. Obviously, it's my first time watching these episodes. And I think season 7, so far, might be the best series of Fear of the Walking Dead, in my opinion. Because I've had a rocky go with this series, but yeah. So episode 5, it was just interesting because obviously we had the guy who was disfigured from Negan's gang and his wife of such helping this person out who is like a wrestler sort of vibe, and she's trying to find a partner. The partner's already a zombie and it's a big thing for her to deal with. But we've also had that couple, that family that helped our characters in when the bombs went off, I guess you could say. Yeah. Victor's kind of got and it's like pressured them into joining this other group basically against Victor. So Victor is doing things he thinks is for the best, like all dictators do, but he's actually starting to create enemies and he's doing things harming our main characters, which is forming an alliance against him. With also having characters in his asylum, his place, and our main character's been there as well, but also he's doing wrong to them as well, which we'll get onto in a bit. I just find that quite interesting how he's building so many enemies now. He is literally becoming the big threat of Fear of the Walking Dead now, and it is interesting where they went with his character. How he was a good character that's gone to the dark side, I guess you could say. And yeah, it is interesting. But yeah, the wrestling episode was interesting. Obviously, fighting off the zombies in the wrestling pit, the boxing ring. Yeah, that was cool. That was interesting fight scene that I thought was decent. But yeah, episode 6 was boring. It was very, it was following, I think, the woman who likes to record everyone. It's following her, which I've never enjoyed her character, so that's probably why I didn't enjoy this. But it's getting her and her partner, her relationship, I guess you could say, with the people that Rick works for, that organisation. Basically getting, because obviously she fell for someone who works there, and her falling in love and getting together, and I guess they sort of got that happy ending now. They could leave the characters on the run away from them, and it could be a potential. It's happy as it's ever going to get for Walking Dead standards. So I feel like maybe her story's kind of done in a way, but also it was interesting with Morgan trying to help her and doing a video and interviewing her, which was yet again feel like a book ending for that character. She's already recording everyone else, now we're finally recording her. It feels like a bookend full circle thing, to be fair, for her. So I think we might be done with her. If not, then no. But yeah, this is a boring episode for me because obviously I don't like her character. I find her not that interesting. But the fact that the people Rick works for is literally on the hunt and it's trying to take out Morgan at one point and put in jeopardy there. It was really cool to see that. And obviously when they got the cannons and blew up them soldiers, that was cool. Yeah, there's not much to say from the story. Like I said, I didn't really enjoy it that much. It was kind of a drag. Episode 7 was Alicia and that other guy. We got more of a Flash sort of vibe, and of course Victor and these people that he said you cannot come into my place because I say so. He's been poisoned by Morgan, I think. Morgan's now in this base, and Morgan's literally gonna get thrown off the roof from doing what he did to Victor. However, it's like a standoff sort of thing. Someone saves Morgan's life. In return, they have to stay where Victor's place is, basically, and help him. So, yeah. But he still tries to kill Morgan later on anyway. So it's like in episode 8. So it's like he's not letting that go, I guess. But it's interesting, obviously. Victor's place being attacked and he doesn't know what to do. He's being poisoned. It does look like, oh, this could be it. This could be his ending. This could be his downfall. But he survives, of course, and still pees people off, which was interesting. I did enjoy episode 7 a bit because it was interesting. But then we move on to episode 8 with Alicia, of course, find out what happened to her because she got locked in the bunker, of course. And then she finds this dude, and eventually that dude gets killed off. But obviously it's down to Victor, which leads her to... We're at war now with Victor, Alicia and Victor. But Alicia's dying anyway. She's been bit by a zombie. She had to chop her arm off. And that was an interesting scene, and how they revealed that was kind of cool. But also revealing actually Alicia's still dying from it. She didn't stop the infection and it spread. Now she's just holding on for as much time as possible. But her people was going to go with Victor. She was managed to save her people as she thought, until she sees obviously that guy she fell for died because of Victor. And then she decided war. And the best way to do it is attack his base, this society he's built up. Obviously, Victor could have just killed her there and then. I guess he doesn't want to, but really he could just squash this beef and just eliminate her there and then. But doesn't, I guess. So we'll have to see what happens with episode 9, but I haven't watched that yet. Obviously, we're doing episode 5 to 8 at the moment. Morgan just somehow fluking to stay alive, really, at this point. He's got really, literally character armor, writing armor, where the writer just, like, stops Morgan from dying in any way possible. I feel like he could have been dead like 4 or 5 times in these episodes, and if he was a normal character that wasn't very major to the Walking Dead universe, he would be dead by now. But yet again, he's surviving somehow. He's keeping afloat, and I do think like Victor could have got in episode 7. They could have ended this already, but no. Obviously, we need a story to tell. We need more interest. We've got more to go. So it's interesting. Are we actually going to have a war, or is it just talk and anger at this stage? She's kind of lost face, whereas Victor doesn't want to kill her. He sent Morgan out to try and save her, really. So it is interesting. And I did enjoy seeing her back, I guess, because she was one of the first characters we ever seen. So it was nice to have her back, because she wasn't really in this series so far, because of being locked in that bunker. And seeing her with these new people that she's made, you know, along the way, it was cool and interesting. And of course, we've got her ticking time bomb when she's going to go now as well, which is going to be emotional. But let's hope this war, she managed to see the end of it. If she's the reason she's like it's happening, you know. But yeah. Episode score ranking. I'm gonna give. I think the characters have moved on quite nicely, to be fair, and there is some intrigue there. So I am actually going to give these stories a 7 out of 10. And yet again, it's not amazing, this series, but it's probably the best yet we've had. And the way the forms of the characters are gone, and the stories being a slightly more interesting, and the tone of the stories have been interesting. Yet again, I do wish we didn't just have individual stories for individual characters. I wish we have a bit with Alicia, then we have a bit with Victor, then we have a bit with the people who are Negan's men, who I always keep forgetting his name, so I have to say Negan's men, because otherwise I don't know his name. But, you know, I wish we had little scenes in each individual episode instead of episodes for individual characters. I wish that we were just mixing them and mashing them into each individual story, just because I end up missing characters. I'm like, oh, I want to see more Morgan, but it's not his episode, so we won't see him this episode. I want to mix up the stories so we could get more characters in each episode. That would be more cool on my end. But yeah, like I said, 7 out of 10. Really enjoying Series 7 a lot more than all the others. Obviously, check out my reviews for them if you haven't already. But of course, we don't just talk about The Walking Dead. We do Marvel, Doctor Who, Rick and Morty, Star Wars, Chucky, Marvel, DC, you name it. Really place to be for a geek like me. So join us. Subscribe. See you guys in the video soon. Have a nice day.